There's some really big news coming down the line that could change the future of wildland firefighting. Let's talk about it. Hey there, welcome back to Wildland Fire Fit. I'm Ronnie Ocampo. On this channel, we talk all things wildland firefighting. So if you're interested in that, I highly suggest you subscribe. As you can tell, I'm in a different room today, so this is my husband's office. So for the foreseeable future, this is where I'll be until I go back to Alaska. But there's some really big news that has come out that the federal government has announced that there is going to be a new wildland fire agency, and they're going to call it the U.S. Wildland Fire Service. So a lot of people have a lot of opinions on this already, so we're going to kind of get into it of what is it, what does it mean, the pros and cons of this. Obviously not everything has come out yet of like the solidified plan of everything. There are still some changes I'm sure that will happen, but with the information that we have, I wanted to make a video on this, plus someone asked for this video, and I thought, you know what, this would be perfect. So we're going to kind of go through it, and of course, I would love to hear your guys' opinion. I want to know what the fire community's thoughts are on this, so I'm sure it's pretty divided, but we'll see. So I have my notes here. There's a lot to go through, so I'm going to kind of reference those. So let's just start with what it is. So they said that this is going to be a unified fire organization that will combine the firefighting programs of the Forest Service, Bureau of Land Management, National Park Service, and the Fish and Wildlife, and some others that will be under this one service. Now, this is being called one of the biggest changes to the federal firefighting agencies in decades. So here's a headline. On September 16th, 2025, the Department of the Interior and Agriculture announced a plan to modernize and unify federal wildfire response. The idea is to combine multiple agencies into one national fire service starting January 2026. We know that. Okay. According to the press release, this move aims to streamline operations, improve coordination, and strengthen the federal firefighting workforce. They say this is going to reduce some of the red tape, standardize training, give support to firefighters that they've been asking for, and improve the technology of the firefighting world, which I think is kind of awesome. I think we need it, but that's where I am so far. So in theory, you know, this sounds wonderful, but we all know when you actually put this into practice, there's going to be bumps in the road. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. There's going to be a lot of policies that are put together from all the different services, I'm sure, and kind of trying to combine that into one. There's going to be, you know, turbulence along the way, if you will. However, I think it's going to be a good thing, but let's keep going. So let's talk about what's actually going to change. So they are going to put all of the aviation into one area. So it's unified aviation operations. Aircraft from multiple agencies will now be managed under one joint program to reduce overlap and speed up response. There's going to be the standardized training and qualifications, which, yes, awesome, I think. Everyone will follow the same standards and certification system across federal agencies. Yes, 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 yes. I think that that's wonderful. The third one is shared IT and mapping tools. And I have said in many videos that we need to be pushing forward in our technology. There are so many great technologies in the world, and we just need to now bring that into the wildland firefighting world. And I know there has been a big push for it, and I would love to have a job in this area. I think it is so cool. So they are pushing for the unified tech, so like national fire risk maps, the data systems, and predictive modeling. Now, the fourth one is streamlined hiring and pay systems, which is pretty awesome. So they want to make it more competitive, the federal firefighting jobs more competitive and more stable. So win-win there, I think. And the fifth one is unified contracting and logistics. So they want to basically reduce the duplication of equipment, gear, services, things like that. So hopefully they can reduce the amount of money that they're spending on that and put it into buying high quality, good gear, better gear for our firefighters. So hopefully that will be a good thing. We'll see how it goes. So that is the official plan. Like I said, I'm sure there's gonna be many changes. I know that I have been I'm still active duty Air Force. And so I was in a unit that was an Air Force unit. And once the Space Force stood up, that unit that I was in turned into a Space Force unit. And so while it sounded wonderful and so great of like, we can do whatever we want, we can make it whatever we want. In theory, it's great, right? But when you're boots on the ground actually implementing it and doing it, it's it's a lot of work. It's so much work. Getting policies written, all the official letters, all the documentation, this is the plan, and pushing it out to everyone like this is what we're doing. It's a lot of work. So I know it's up at the higher levels who are making these decisions. However, I'm hoping that they are definitely taking the influence of well-seasoned firefighters who can influence that and say, hey, While this option is a good one, here's the risks for that so that they can have good decision makers making educated decisions. There's a lot of articles that I've pulled this information from, so I will list them all down in the description below for you guys to check out those different articles, get educated on it, see what everyone else is kind of saying. But Wildfire Today pointed out that the details on pay, chains of command, and exactly who is reporting to who have not been ironed out yet. They haven't been made public. So once those are, I'm sure, it'll be the talk of the town. But it really makes people, kind of hesitant on what is going on because all the details haven't been released yet. So it makes people nervous of especially pay, but hopefully they're going to be increasing the pay, which I'm a huge proponent of making a more stable career and also you getting paid for what you deserve because it is a hard job. I will always be saying that you guys are working your butts off and you deserve the pay. And this leads to everyone not being on board with it. So there was several former U.S. Forest Service chiefs that said that reorganization could cause massive disruption to fire management and that suppression shouldn't be separated from prevention, fuels, and forest health work. They said, and I quote, "Wildland fire response is only one part of an integrated fire management system. Splitting that apart risks undermining long-term forest resilience." So there's also firefighting unions who have raised flags on it. And like I said, I'll have all those links down below so you guys can check out those articles. But there are some people who are for it. So there are some local officials in Nevada and Montana that had some mixed reactions. They said that cutting red tape could help, but others worry about losing local autonomy and field level decision making, which is kind of a big one, I think. So depending on who you ask, they're either for it or against it. So let's go through some pros and cons. Pros. Better coordination between agencies, no more whose fire is it delays, easier interagency assignment and qualifications, unified tech systems and data sharing, possibility for stronger pay structure and clearer career paths. Potential cons, loss of agency culture and local control, possible delays during transition, confusion around chain of command and funding, risk that prevention and fuels get sidelined if focus shifts to suppression. What this means for you. If you are already in fire, this can mean changes to your job title, your pay system, and who's actually signing your red card. But if you're getting into wildland firefighting, especially rookies or seasonal hires, there will be changes to who you're applying to, and then also any training and how that's handled in the future. And one of the biggest questions firefighters are asking is who is actually in charge? Because as of early this month, October 2025, they missed the deadline to get this submitted to Congress. So the plan is still in limbo. We're not really sure still, like I said, so it'll be interesting to see. The bottom line is that we are in a transition period and this could be a whole new era for wildland firefighting for better or worse. So I want to hear what you guys have to say. What do you guys think? Is this progress or is it a potential huge mistake? So for me personally, I take the stance on it being progress and I think that it's something that needs to happen. Eventually, this needs to happen. And so, yep, it's kind of like ripping the Band-Aid off. So while there's going to be huge bumps or things that come up that people weren't expecting, it's not going to be perfect by any means. However, it's something that needs to happen, I believe. So please, like I said, leave your comments down below. I would love to hear what the community has to say on this. You could roll out slow. It doesn't have to go quick. It doesn't have to be one huge, massive shift. Obviously, at the very beginning, yes, the agency itself will be the biggest shift. However, you can slowly start rolling out other things as well. So it's not as a huge disruption, if at all possible. If you found this breakdown helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, share it with your crew. I would love to know what the community thinks on this. Please leave your thoughts, your comments down below. Also, if you guys have any other video suggestions, please leave those down below as well. I'm going to be creating a lot more content for this channel, so obviously I want to create things you guys are actually interested in. So leave those suggestions down below. Until then, you guys can check out some of my other videos, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.